Our headlines today. Taking paracetamol in pregnancy is safe, contrary to claims made by President Trump. A major review finds no evidence of the drug causing autism and developmental issues in children.
Former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair will sit on Donald Trump's Board of Peace for Gaza, which is expected to oversee the reconstruction and running of Gaza.
Preparations for the first crewed moon mission in more than 50 years continue. The rocket will move to the launch pad in Florida today.
We meet the wildlife photographer whose teenage dream came true 2 decades after writing to David Attenborough got to work with him.
We'll take a look at the papers now. In a piece for the Daily Telegraph, the leader of the Conservative Party, Kemi Badenoch, says that Britain is not broken. It's a direct response to Reform UK after Robert Jenrick defected to the party earlier this week. The Times claims that Sir Keir Starmer is now under pressure to remove Health Secretary Wes Streeting. The paper says it's spoken to 3 other cabinet ministers who have accused Mr. Streeting of putting his leadership ambitions ahead of the party.
Let's have a look at The Independent, asking why didn't they fire him? That's following the retirement of the West Midlands police chief. But his decision to ban Israeli fans from a match against Aston Villa. Craig Guildford lost the confidence of the Home Secretary after providing incorrect evidence to MPs on the report that led to the ban. And The Guardian leads on a warning from US President Donald Trump. He's threatened to impose tariffs on countries that don't go along with his plan to take over Greenland.
You spotted anything fun inside?
Oh, just in some of the papers. There's a story, this is actually in The Guardian, about a hit song in Sweden that has just been removed from the official charts because it has emerged, a journalist did some inquiry, that the artist is an AI creation. So the Swedish charts have determined that because it's not a real person doing the song, so it's AI generated, that it will not qualify to be in the charts, even though it was #1.
So AI was singing it as well?
Well, I haven't heard the song. I can tell you what it's called.
What is the song called,
The
Charlie?
song's called I Know You're Not Mine. Do you want to hear the Swedish version?
Of course.
So, in English, you'd say, I know you're not mine. I haven't heard it, incidentally, so I don't know what it's like. Or Jag vet du inte min in Swedish. And it's by a singer called Jacob. But apparently, the majority of it, they've determined, is constructed by AI, which means it can't be in the charts.
Of course it can't.
Well, it was...
I wonder, you know, like we...
It got there without being noticed, as it were.
You know, we... Once upon a time, streaming, we didn't have streaming charts, and now we have streaming charts. We'd be like, oh, no, it's all about buying records. There will be an AI chart. Can I tell you a story?
Go.
And I've learnt a lot about orcas this morning. This is in the Times. There is an orca pod that are almost seen as silent assassins, although they're not killing. They're silent saboteurs, shall we say, right? So orcas have fads for no reason that scientists can find. So once there was an example of a female in the Pacific Northwest in 1987 decided to wear a salmon on her head, right? A dead salmon on her head. And the trend then spread. So other orcas
How did
started...
it stay on?
Well, they were having their own salmon hats. Orcas are very clever. And then just as abruptly as it began, it stopped, right? Another one included, like, they were seeing draping kelp over their backs and heads. Just, they like to have fun, right? And now there's this pod by a female, and led by a female, and her name is White Gladys. And White Gladys and her companions are insurgents. They are attacking sailboats. So what they've been doing is grabbing a boat rudder, snapping it off the boat, batting it around and then swimming off, just for fun. But because this orca pod has been followed, it's been found that they have their own language. And so once the orca pod goes, that language goes, because it gets passed on through the family and the pod. So White Gladys is a name that's a nod to the... White Gladys is a name to the animal's old scientific classification, Orca gladiator, and her companions. Very fascinating creatures.
Well, speaking of intelligence, just one thought for you. It's 25 years since Paul McKenna's, one of the first self-help books came out. I don't know if you remember that. 25 years ago. It was Change Your Life in 7 Days was the original. He's updated it now. And he's got some thoughts about the world we live in. And these will tally with people. He says, turn on the TV or the radio, read the news. You're under attack. It's the war, the virus, economy, terrorists, politicians. Now, the big problem is anxiety. People have become good at catastrophizing. And his final thought on day 7 of the newly revised version is how, as part of his plan, so the new version, he says, every day I'm grateful for my health, my family, my job, the first cup of tea in the morning.
It's a good thing.
Be comfortable about little things. It helps.
A major scientific review has found no link between taking paracetamol during pregnancy and rising cases of autism in young children.
The findings contradict controversial claims from US President Trump last September, who told women to tough it out rather than take the painkiller, which he said was associated with a very increased risk of the condition. Our health reporter Jim Reid has more.
It's one of the most commonly used medicines. You've almost certainly got some in your cupboard at home. Health authorities in the UK say paracetamol is the recommended way for pregnant women to treat pain and fever. Last September, though, President Trump made controversial and unproven claims linking the drug in pregnancy to rising rates of autism in children.
All pregnant women should talk to their doctors for more information about limiting the use of this medication while pregnant. So ideally, you don't take it at all. But if you can't tough it out, or if there's a problem, you're going to end up doing it.
At the time, many doctors were highly critical, accusing the Trump administration of spreading misinformation about the risks of paracetamol, or tylenol as it's known in the US. Now, an international team of scientists have looked back and analysed dozens of large studies involving hundreds of thousands of women. When the data was pooled or combined, they could find no evidence that taking paracetamol in pregnancy increased the chance of having a child with autism, ADHD, or an intellectual disability.
Pregnant women should feel reassured that a paracetamol is safe in pregnancy and that it remains to be the first-line medication to take if you have pain or you have fever in pregnancy.
The Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, said the study should reassure mothers-to-be that there is no evidence whatsoever linking paracetamol use to autism. The US Health Department, though, criticised the research, saying other experts still had concerns about using the drug while pregnant. Jim Reid, BBC News.